Richard, it's such a beautiful piece, but it's also an evocative title. And I wondered if you'd talk a little bit about the title and when in the process that came to you.
The title, as you know, is in two parts, so of shadow and light, and that really kind of refers to me, kind of the emotional and dramatic spectrum in the work. So there are obviously the anticipated highs or lows, but I think there is also kind of a great emotional range in that, which kind of almost references the dramatic movies of the 30s and 40s, and so there's kind of a romanticism and a nostalgia kind of built into the title. And then incantations, to me, really kind of splits into the two components of the word. In, from the Latin, meaning kind of to move through or to move forward through a story, as it were. And then cantations or cantare, it's to do with sound or to be sung. And so the orchestra is kind of presenting that tapestry, really, but it's also kind of the double meaning of it is kind of an incantation of something magical or deeper or evocative that's going on stage.
How does your orchestral writing is so masterful? How do you find your work as a conductor informs your work as a composer?
I think the skill sets are the one and the same. It's just the question of how you apply them. And so yeah, in my world, I definitely find when I'm kind of wearing my conductor hat, I'm often thinking with my composer brain to understand the music, kind of deeper, but certainly the hope would be when I'm working as a composer, there are things that I write and you just know that will work because you've actually shaped and encountered that in your work as a conductor.
Right. You've written a great deal of orchestral music and choral music, chorus and orchestra. How has that evolved for you over time?
Well, certainly, in my work as a conductor, I mean, as you know, I mean, you never stop growing. I mean, you never know, well, probably even a tiny part of everything that's out there. So the more that I've done as a conductor, the more that's informed my writing. And then ultimately, I think for me, the pinnacle is to be able to write for an orchestra, just because it's the broadest palette of colors and the broadest kind of palette of dynamic range. And just being involved with it and also being surrounded, particularly somewhere like Atlanta with the Symphony right on our doorstep, being able to immerse in that kind of world on a weekly basis.
Does it change or inform your musical thinking when you know exactly who's going to be playing which part?
That's actually what's been particularly special about this piece. In part because there's obviously there's the heart that sort of goes out to your colleagues on stage, and and as you know, I know some of the musicians very well, and I'm continuing to get to know you also better. But you imagine it in their hands, and you want to do justice. So it's not just a first flute part; it's Christina Smith will be playing this, and you know her kind of sparkling sound and her personality and everything. And there's also the component of that, which is, my God, I better make this part interesting, otherwise X person will be asking me why. It's about kind of finding the fit necessarily for the individual people, the sections, the ensemble, and of course the artistic leadership.